Sisterhood is not a bad episode, but there was something about it that just felt off. Maybe it was its placement at this point in the series because we have no idea what Facilier, what Gothel really want. I mean, we know Facilier wants the Dark One Dagger, but, just saying he wants the Dark One Dagger doesn't make him that much of an engaging villain. We know Gothel has his Coven of Eight, but we don't know who any of these witches are. Two of them are dead. One of them is Drizella, and now she's gone. It just feels that this show has no idea where it's going, and it's just trying to get us back to Storybrooke to really wrap it up, which is unfortunate, because this episode had so much potential, and I really felt should have been placed at a different point in the series. And that's really the problem I have with it, is Drizella's character development was great, but the payoff, I don't feel was worth it, because what we saw here was nice, but we could have used one or two more episodes. And also, Adelaide Kane is such a good actress. Please watch Reign. Even if you have issues with the historicals inaccuracies of the show Reign, I advise it, because you get to see just how good and how many emotions Adelaide Kane can emulate from that show. It's just so good. Now, I don't know, as I was watching this episode, I'm just like, okay, the backstory is kind of okay, but maybe it would have been nicer to have some moments with, Gabrielle Amoir. I know her character died, but she could have still come back in the flashback. Because in the flashback, we meet Gretel version 2, possibly, or Gretel version 1. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a Gretel Enchanted Forest version 2. And Drizella and her are kind of friends. They're competing for 2 possible spots in the Coven of Eight. There's only one. Gothel gets both of them. She says, you got to kill the other one. And of course, Drizella wins. And that was really it. So they threw in a character from Hansel and Gretel for no reason, and also made Gretel a witch. And then said, that her brother, Hansel, is off under a different name, doing something else because he was so traumatized by the witch. Now, my guess is that Hansel went under the name Jack, and now is under the name Nick, because Nick is the witch killer. And I guess that's possibly the foreshadow in this episode, the flashback with Gretel talking about her brother. But there was no inclination that Jack was ever, Hansel. And there was no indication in the present that Jack was a witch killer or awake. And it just felt very random. And also, Nathan Parsons has barely been in the show, and I don't know anything about his character. I have no connection to any of these characters because the show is so character heavy. And that's a problem. You have too much going on. And the one thing with this episode that it had going for it was there wasn't that much going on. You have Drizella in the past dealing with Gretel, trying to get a spot in the Coven. She kills Gretel. She becomes, her heart becomes even darker. Boom, she's in the Coven. She's happy. In the present, the killer, as we all know, is Nick, goes after Drizella because she's a witch. Drizella goes to Ronnie, asks for protection. Ronnie says, give me something for Henry. Drizella says, I don't have anything, which is stupid. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then, Drizella goes to Sandy, or Sandy comes to Drizella, but, she sides with him. She knocks out Anastasia with magic powder. Then, Sandy is like, oh, well, we'll take Anastasia's magic. We'll make a magic bean work. By the way, magic beans, I thought those were supposed to be hard to come by. And then, Drizella is shocked when Anastasia starts to wake up, and we realize it's Gothel waking her up. And then Drizella was about to die from Anastasia. She holds like a glass shard from Victoria Belfray's desk that Anastasia broke with her magic. By the way, magic is able to work in Hyperion Heights. I don't know. Magic is just all over the place. I've always said that the land without magic is kind of the land with magic suppressed, because I think it can be accessed, but I think the curse is supposed to completely suppress it. But I don't know. Continuity issues in this show are beyond my control and beyond my comprehension, sadly. So then, Gothel goes, kill her! And I'm like, oh my god, Emma Booth, you needed to do more takes with that, because I was laughing when Emma Booth was trying to be serious. When she was Gothel in the Enchanted Forest, I liked that. But when she was being Eloise Gardner Gothel, I was like, oh my god, you needed more takes, because your acting was so bad in those scenes. I was just like, this is not good. So then, Anastasia doesn't kill her sister. And then following that, they reconcile. And then Sandy helps Anastasia. Wait, no, Sandy leaves. And Drizella, and Anastasia, they get the bean to work. They open up a portal, and they go back to Enchanted Forest version 2, and then they're gone. And then the other storyline was, Henry's sad because Jacinda and him aren't together. Why would he be sad? Because, he has no connection to Jacinda. And I actually went back to watch the episode when when Cinderella and Henry kiss in the Enchanted Forest or at Wonderland. There's nothing. There's nothing there. Like, I don't feel this couple. I've said this a billion times. We're 15 episodes in. I can't buy it. It's just, it's not a good couple. They're just, what was that? What the heck's it called? Hyvie, was much better. And now Hyvie is gone. Half of Hyvie is back in where they belong. And it's just sad. So, Jack, Hook, and Nick, the same person. Jack, Henry, and Hook are hanging out, or technically Nick, Rogers, and Henry are hanging out, and they're become buddies again. I mean, technically, Rogers and Henry were always friends, kind of. It's like we know that original Hook and Henry always got along, so we would just assume that Wish Hook and Henry get along, and we're supposed to just believe, apparently, that Nick and Henry are friends, or that Jack and Henry were friends. I don't know. Like, the show is just like, oh, they're besties, and I'm like, fine. I don't believe it, but I'll watch it. Like, it's part of the plot. Like, there was that scene where they go, oh, the next girl that walks into the bar is who Henry Mills is going to ask out. And, of course, he turns and he's like, you, it's Jacinda. And, like, it's just like this big reveal. And I'm like, no, this is bad. And then that was it. So Nick is the killer. Drizella left. And I was like, okay, cool. Anything else? Like, anything else? Like, no more of the Coven of Eight. I mean, there was a couple nice Rumpelstiltskin moments in this episode, don't get me wrong. And again, I liked the episode. I feel like I'm really attacking it, but the problem is, because the show has no direction, the episode feels off. And that's the problem. Because, like, I liked the acting. The acting was great, minus Emma Boots saying, kill her. I was like, please, no. But, in the subplot with Henry and Jacinda trying to get together was just ridiculous, in my opinion. And I'm never going to like those subplots. I'm actually really concerned about the series finale with Henry and Jacinda going to Storybrooke and being like, we're in love. I'm like, no, you're not. I don't believe it. It's just you're forced to because you're paid. But the point is, this episode, we lost Drizella. And Adelaide not lost her, in a dead sense, but we lost a character. And I'm like, oh, she's so good. She needed more development. And I had mentioned earlier in the video, I want to talk about her curse. And the reason that she wanted to do this curse was to make her mother suffer. But for some reason, she has no control of who she brought over. She didn't recognize Sandy when he was there. And I was like, you don't know what your own curse inflicted? Like, Regina's curse brought who she wanted. You kind of understand why these characters all cast these curse. And Drizella's reason for casting the curse was the most bratty. That's like the only word I can use. She cast it because her mother was mean to her and, put her in the shadow of Anastasia. But that's not a reason for casting a curse. And it's just, technically none of the reasons for casting the curse are reasons. But the point is, Drizella had, I think, the shallowest of the reasons. And Drizella technically also had, like, the littlest of impact. Because at least when Regina was casting it, she was the evil queen. She was the queen of the realm. And, now she's gone. She can't fix what she did to Henry. And they're just kind of stuck. And that's where the season kind of feels like it's stuck. Because, like, you don't know what Sandy really wants to do with the dagger. I liked the interaction with Sandy and Rumple towards the end of the episode. That was fun. Like I said, I like the Rumple and Regina scenes. But, like, you don't know what Sandy wants with the dagger. You don't know what Gothel's motivations are. You don't know why Nick is the witch killer. They said that the killer would be revealed. Hopefully his motives will be revealed. I really feel that the direction of this season was so divided that it caused it to make this reaction. Because I'm just like, I don't know what's happening anymore. And I want to know Gothel's motives. I need to know it. I need to know Facilier's motives. I need them to wake up. Like, Rogers can no longer be in a coma. Like, just wake up at this point. We're 15 episodes in. Regina woke up in episode 6. Rumple woke up in episode 4. I mean, it's a little late now. So the point is, I liked what we saw with Drizella. I just wish we saw it sooner. And I wish that we could have seen Drizella's character be developed better. Like the end of it where Regina's like, well, I understand you, but I don't forgive you. But it's cool, you can go. I was like, wait! No. Tell her to stay. Make her work on a cure. So I have very mixed emotions because the episode, it didn't have, it felt like it just was in the wrong spot. Its impact, I think, to the series overall was kind of moot because, you lose Drizella, you lose the person that cast this curse, and now it's just like, oh, we got to break it and figure it out. But we have these two villains, we don't know what they want. And I guess as it's a different feeling as an audience member because normally when you're the audience, you know, you have an idea of what's going on with your characters, particularly in mysteries, and you're trying to solve it. And with this, I just can't solve it. And with the style of writing this season, we are kind of in Hyperion Heights, and just as clueless as everyone else around us. Normally, the audience can at least, you know, form an idea. You know, way back in season 1 of Once Upon a Time, we all knew who cast the curse. We knew who their identities were. We were kind of figuring out how they were going to get together and break it and whatnot. Here, it's like, we don't know. We know who they are, but we don't know any villain's motives. And now the person who, as I said, cast the curse is gone. I don't know. I just felt that the payoff is just ridiculous. And they throw in another villain. So now we have villain 3. And I got to say, Nathan Parsons hasn't impressed me that much yet because he hasn't been in that many episodes. So anyway, sadly, my review is negative. But I just think that the episode didn't harken an amazing response because it was just placed in an odd spot. The acting was kind of meh at some points, sadly due to Emma Booth. The presence storyline was with Henry and Jacinda kind of made me squirm in my seat. I want to know more. Like I'm into the show enough to like keep watching, but I just don't understand how they thought this episode was a good payoff when you lose one of your best new characters. And also, Tiana hasn't been in 2 episodes, and I want to know what's going on with poor Naveen, and I even kind of want to know what's going on with poor Alice. And I want to know more of these Covens of the Eight. Or more of these witches in the Coven. There's just so much I want to know that, you know, it's just not happening. And we only have a couple episodes left till Emma Booth's final episode, which is episode 20. So, anyway, what did you guys think of the episode? Were you happy with it? Were you impressed? Did you feel this disjointedness feeling that I have? Or whatnot? So share your thoughts about the episode in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my review. As I said, sorry it was a little bit more negative because I liked what I saw. But I feel that for the overall spectrum of the show, it needed to be placed earlier. And because we're so close to the end, I want more of a payoff, and I'm not feeling that payoff yet. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll talk real soon. Bye, guys.